All right, I really like this day because it totally builds on everything we just learned yesterday. We're going to be dividing integers. And so I always put this at the top for everyone. Dividing integers works with exactly the same pattern as multiplying them. So I rewrote that pattern, and this is great to rewrite too because it'll commit it to memory. Only we just changed the divided sign. Positive divided by positive is positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. Negative divided by positive is negative. And negative divided by negative is positive. I could really stop the lesson right there and y'all could figure it out. We're going to work with it. And I want to remind you, if signs are opposite, the quotient is negative. If the signs are the same, either positive, both positive or both negative, it's going to be a positive. So I'm going to talk to you next about related equations. And I'm going to write the word equations. So you always remember that if you were looking when you were a young child at 8 divided by 2 equals 4, sometimes when you said 8 divided by 2, you could solve it by going, okay, what times 2 is 8? So what you were doing in your head was you were solving a related equation. So you know that negative 36 divided by negative 6, according to up here, will be a positive 6. But I want to pretend that we don't know this, and we're going to solve a related equation. So what I'm saying, if we go backwards through the problem, what question mark times a negative 6 equals a negative 36. What number would I put in here? Notice how I just went backwards through the problem. What number, we didn't know this yet, times a negative 6 equals a negative 36. So if I looked at this here, it wouldn't be a negative 6, it would be a positive 6, because positive times negative is going to be negative. Let's look at this one. 27 divided by 9 is negative 3. What is the related equation? So this one we have to have the question mark. We don't know. And then instead of dividing, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to multiply times negative 9 equals, and we're trucking along this way, equals 27. Well, I know that there's a 3 times 9 is a 27, but here I know that we have to have a positive 27. So I know the signs have to be the same. So I know it has to be a negative 3. I showed you the whole equation so you can just see that just like in regular multiplication and division, it works the same. If we did 9 times 3 equals 27, the related expression is 27 divided by 3 equals 9. Those are related expressions. So we're going to write a related expression and then solve all of these. So negative 30 divided by 5 is the same as saying what number times 5, we're going backwards, equals negative 30. Well, I know that to get it to be a negative, my answer has to be a negative number, and it has to be a 6, because 6 times 5 is 30. So does negative 5, or negative 6 times a 5 equal negative 30? Yes, it does. So we've got the answer right there. 18 divided by 2 equals something. Let's write the related expression first. So we're going to start over here with the question mark times a negative 2 equals 18. Well, I know that for it to be positive, these signs have to be the same. So I know that it has to be a negative and it has to be a 9. Negative 9 times negative 2 would be a positive 18. That makes sense. 27, negative 27 divided by negative 9, what's the related expression? Well, it would be question mark, we start with that, times negative 9 equals negative 27. Okay, this is negative, so I know that signs have to be opposite here. So I know that 3 times 9 is 27. Let's check that out. Positive 3 times negative 9 would be, yes, a negative 27. 0 divided by, and I'm going to put a negative 5, equals what? So if we did the related expression, question mark times negative 5 equals 0. Well, you obviously know it's going to have to be 0 in order to make it true. So I wrote these in different ways. I should have skipped lines. I'm very sorry. I will do it with the related expression after I solve it. So we have 63 divided by 7. I see that there are opposite signs, so I know my answer has to be a negative. And now I'm going to look at what is 63 divided by 7? 9. My related expression, if you want to go back to that, is question mark times 7 equals negative 63. What is that missing number? Negative 9 fits that. I wrote this one differently because remember the vinculum means divided by. So now we have 40 divided by a negative 5. Signs are opposite. I know my answer has to be a negative, and I know 40 divided by 5 is 8. So my related expression is question mark times a negative 5 equals 40. So I can see right there that a negative 8 times a negative 5 will definitely equal a positive 40. 0 divided by negative 5, well, we just did that one up there. We know that it's going to be 0. I'm not going to belabor that point. Here I've written this in a different way, and so we have negative 22 divided by a negative 2. I know the signs are the same, so my answer has to be positive, and it's going to be an 11. My related expression, if the book were to ask for that, is question mark times a negative 2 equals negative 22. Okay, I got a positive 11. So a positive 11 times a negative 2, yes, definitely equals a negative 22. That's all there is to this one. It builds completely off of our assignment on multiplying integers. So it is of utmost importance that you memorize this pattern. You will use it all throughout your mathematical career. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great lesson.